All right, let's call this meeting to order. Let it be determined the quorum is present. We're only missing one member. We have the minutes from the previous meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with one change. The third paragraph, we to change it to Whaley. Or seconded the motion. That's it. Motion.
I beg your pardon, what was that correction?
To change the wording to Whaley?
Whaley?
Instead of Wells?
I wasn't going to say it, but yes, instead of Wales, Whaley.
That's a first.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, a public hearing regarding 2 requests for sign variances by owners of 123 Galveston. So we'll open this meeting to a public hearing for people for or against. It was publicized in the paper.
Hold on.
You want to say anything about it?
Just that this was publicized. There was a request made by Mr. Raul Castillo, the owner of the property at 129 Galveston, for 2 variances, and this a height variance and a size variance. And this is an opportunity for anybody in the public to voice their opinion.
If there's no comments, I'll close the public hearing.
Okay.
We're going to go into the item.
Yeah.
For discussion and possible action requesting for a 7-foot variance and a 168-foot size variance on a sign on Galveston.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to state that height variance should be for a 2-foot variance. I've made a mistake on that. The rules actually read 35 foot. So we're talking about a 2-foot variance, not a 7-foot variance on the height.
Okay.
That is correct on the size variance. The rules call for a billboard maximum size to be 120 foot. And of course, his is 168 foot, so we're looking for the variance that's requested there.
What was the variance we gave on the one for the Ranger boats?
It was more than this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that
Both
sign
of them.
is more than that.
Both height and
Yeah,
size.
the Ranger boat didn't require a height variance, but right across the street from this particular sign, we did a variance for Exxon for the Neil 15 there when they wanted that big sign as high as their other sign, and that was about a 15 and 20 foot variance. The circumstances regarding this apparently were that Mr. Castillo was contacted by a sign company, people that make these signs and then rent them out for advertising. And he was told that the advertising, or the sign company, the people that were going to build the billboard, had obtained all the necessary permits. Well, they did from the state, but they didn't from us. And so therefore, Mr. Castillo, there was another issue there too. He was not aware that he cannot advertise anything that is not sold or service performed on that sign on site. But he understands that now.
Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. When was this 35 tall and 120 square feet, when was that put in play?
It was put in place 1985, May 9th of 1985.
What was the speed limit in 1985? Anybody?
55.
Well, in 1985, it was probably 55 miles an hour.
And I really wish, I stopped by and picked this up. I've probably done a little more homework than the person asking for the variance. I'm just trying to figure out when are we gonna either update our books, or we just gonna keep giving variances? The 2 feet from 120 to 168 to square feet, what was the reason for the variance? Y'all just mentioned Ranger. What was the reason for that variance?
The sign was too big, he wanted a bigger sign, bigger square footage.
Okay. Do we need to look and see about if this is gonna be a common thing? Should we redo the order that was done in, 1985, about the size of these signs?
We're gonna have to relook at the entire order, there's several things in there. One of them is, you're not allowed to have any alcohol sold after 11 o'clock.
Correct.
There's several issues we're gonna have to rewrite within the Amistad zoning and land use. The original purpose was not to cover that whole entire area with billboards. That's the reason that they wanted small, local advertised stuff.
Okay, on the variances that I was looking at, that one says public, that's not true then. He's not gonna get to be able to do public,
Can't advertise for anything but.
for anything but his own stuff.
Yes.
And that's what was wrote, public and owned business. What will the sign advertise for? So that's on the one variance asking for the 37 feet, which is really an area sign of 288. So that's not correct.
Yeah, I mean.
So, I mean, if we give a variance to this,
The only thing we'd be giving a variance is a 2 foot taller,
2 foot taller.
and then the 168 foot.
Yeah.
He's already been notified,
Bigger
you
square
can't,
foot.
Yeah.
you can't
That would be
advertise
the-
anything.
That would be
Yeah,
the-
but should it be changed in the paperwork?
There's no variance on that rule as far as being able to advertise anything else. The only
The only thing we're giving him a variance on is the size of the sign. And he's been notified he cannot advertise anything
Yeah,
but his own
so
business.
in the motion, we can take care of the motion just with the 2 foot taller than the 35 foot, and then
Okay.
the square footage, 160 some bucks.
Well, and I know we've talked about trying to revamp some of this stuff.
But you're right, I mean, and he's brought it up too. I mean, at some point, we've got to look at the whole thing, because if not, we're gonna keep doing this over and over.
Yeah,
and over again.
it seems unfruitful.
And he did, like Roger had said, he actually paid somebody to go do it, right? That way he wouldn't have to go look for permits or figure out who to go to or whatever.
Yeah.
So he paid somebody to put up the
Yeah.
sign, install it, make sure all the permits were done. We got off the ball.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to allow the variance or to deny the variance.
Well, I'd make a motion to let him have the height variance, the extra 2 feet, and the extra square footage of 168 feet. So the motion is to give him a variance for the 2 feet and 168 on size.
Second?
I second.
Any more questions, discussions? If not, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Did we
You did a
ever,
lot of homework. Right. You started Googling or what?
no, I stopped by Signs Now,
Oh,
and
okay.
they gave me this book, and I said, how do you come up with how big of a sign?
Fast, yeah.
And, I mean, everybody talks about, well, at 70 miles an hour, you can't read this, at 55 miles an hour, and I said, don't y'all have something to go by? And he said, well, this is all we got.
What you notice in a lot of communities is they don't allow any tall signs. Their zoning restricts them. All you can do is a small sign that advertises so it depends on what you want the landscape to look like out there.
Yeah. Well, and I was trying to understand it better, and I was trying to understand the Ranger boat deal better. And I even talked to Criswell about the Ranger boat.
Mhm.
And that's why I was trying to wrap my mind around this is, you know, I haven't even seen it would have been nice if we'd had a picture of the sign of
I'm
what
sorry,
was
there's
on
a
it.
picture. I'm sorry.
You know, if he's got one for his own boat storage.
It
You know,
doesn't have anything on it right now.
Yeah, okay, so it's just a blank
It's
deal.
just a blank sign.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure out, okay, well, maybe he's got all these words up there and there's gotta be this 12 inches, so he's
No, he
needs
just
this
put up,
big
he
of a
he
sign.
put up a sign and.
What he did with the sign was the sign had been brought down somewhere else, and so the sign was that square footage. It wasn't like he went out and said, I
And
want a
built
sign
it.
this big.
Yeah,
He had an opportunity to buy this sign, this size that had been taken down, and
there it is.
there it is, yeah.
He put the sign up, he didn't have a permit to put the sign up. I called Roger, asked him if they got a permit, they said no. Roger went and talked to them, and that's why they came in and requested the variance and have to get the permit.
He has one little 2-foot runner, the length of the sign, that is advertising his service out there.
They put something up later.
It's at the bottom of the sign,
Oh, okay.
and it's just his RV and
And when
storage.
you said right now about the landscape, we were in Lubbock this weekend, they're preaching at a bunch of businesses, and they have signs that are less than 10 foot tall, and they have probably 32 square foot, and that's it. You have Pizza Hut that'll put up the big signs with happening. All they allow is that. I mean, it's just, what do you want?
I've been to several places up in Dallas that they don't allow anything over.
Yeah.
It's a little sign, and it doesn't matter who it is, it's little signs.
Well,
Right across here, he does have RV and boat storage, which is what he does.
Yeah.
Right there. And that little runner, this is the lane line.
You've seen it up there, right?
so,
Right by the 5 times a day.
so I mean, the only thing he can put there is for his own business.
That's it.
Seems like a waste.
And that's something when we rewrite the rules, everybody's gonna have to decide what they want.
Yeah.
If you want to allow a bunch of advertising out there, or if you just want small signs to advertise your own business.
What size of sign can he put out without a little 4x8?
120 square feet,
120 square feet. And what's the height?
35 feet.
35 feet high. And that's all I got unless anybody else has comments. Not this meeting is adjourned.